The White Sox hope to open up their second half of the '86 season as strongly as they ended the first half. Neil Allen pitched 9 innings of shutout ball as he beat the Orioles 7-0 Sunday in Comiskey Park. But he had help from teammate Joel Skinner as he blasted a 3-run homer in the bottom of the second inning to put the White Sox ahead by 4. Tonight, the White Sox open a 4-game series with the New York Yankees live from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The Sox 32 Sports Network presents Chicago White Sox baseball. Live from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, it's the Chicago White Sox and the New York Yankees. The starting pitchers tonight for the White Sox, right-hander Richard Dotson, and for the New York Yankees, left-hander Dennis Rasmussen. And good evening, everyone, and welcome to Yankee Stadium. I'm Don Drysdale along with Frank Messer. Happy that you've joined us tonight as the White Sox and New York Yankees get ready to do battle in a big 4-game series here in the Big Apple, Frank. And as you look at the two ball clubs right now, the White Sox, they've been on a little bit of a roll, 13-7 under Jim Fregosi, and 6 games under that magic 500 mark that we have talked about.
Well, the White Sox have their pitching straightened out, I think, Don. They pitched very well before the All-Star break. 2 wins in a row. Neil Allen great on Sunday against Baltimore. Dotson tonight has had 2 fine games against the Yankees this year. In fact, had it not been for a couple of home runs by Mike Pagliarulo, Dotson could well be 2-0 against New York instead of 1-1. But on the same token, left-hander Dennis Rasmussen, the Yankees ace, really handed it to the Sox at Comiskey Park, a 3-hit shutout. Should be a pitcher's duel.
It should be, and certainly could be a pitcher's duel right here. Dennis Rasmussen having a fine year for the New York Yankees, a record of 10-2 coming into tonight's game. The series stands right at the 500 mark. They have both won 4 games, although the White Sox are 2-0 right here at Yankee Stadium. So we'll get ready to do business. The first game, we'll give you the lineups right after this commercial timeout.
Chicago White Sox baseball is brought to you in part by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Dodge dealers. See your local Dodge boards. We're out to shine. By Budweiser, Beechwood aged for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. By your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana CarX shop, 'cause CarX cares. By Ace Hardware. Remember, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man. By McDonald's of Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. By the Illinois State Lottery. Winning lotto numbers are now drawn twice a week, on Wednesday and Saturday. So double your chances to win millions. Play Lotto. By your All-American Nissan dealers, where you can get low 5.7% financing. And by United Airlines. You're not just flying, you're flying the friendly skies.
Well, a nice crowd has gathered for the opening of this 4-game series here between the Sox and the New York Yankees. And let's take a look at the White Sox lineup. John Cangelosi will lead off and play center. Ozzie Guillen at shortstop. Harold Baines in right field. Ron Kittle, the DH. Tim Hewlett at third base. Greg Walker will be at first base. Bobby Bonilla plays left field. Julio Cruz at second base. And Joel Skinner catching again tonight. We'll tell you more about that in a moment. On the mound for the White Sox, right-hander Richard Dotson making his 19th start with a record of 7 wins and 8 losses. He is 1 up and 1 down against the New York Yankees so far this season. He'll pitch to a New York Yankee batting order of Rickey Henderson leading off and playing center field. Claudell Washington, a 1-time White Sox, at second. Don Mattingly at first base. Mike Easler, the designated hitter. Ron Hasse will catch. Dave Winfield plays right field for New York. Mike Pagliarulo at third base. Willie Randolph, a co-captain of the Yankees, at second. And Paul Zuvella is the Yankee shortstop. By the way, since we last talked to you, Zuvella has picked up his first hit as a New York Yankee. We'll talk about that. On the mound for New York, the big left-hander, 6'7", Dennis Rasmussen, who has emerged this year as the ace of the Yankee pitching staff. He comes in with a record of 10-2 in 17 starts this year. He has pitched 2 complete games and has 1 shutout, that pitched against the Sox. 116 1/3 innings. He has allowed only 79 base hits, a great ratio of hits to innings pitched. He has walked only 47 while striking out 80 men. And Rasmussen is off to just a fantastic start this 1986 season. Start, heck, halfway through the year. At 10-2, he is off to the best start of any New York pitcher since Ron Guidry's remarkable season of 1978 when Guidry started off 13-0. Ted Hendry is behind the plate tonight. Darrell Cousins at first base. Mark Johnson, the umpire, at second. And Durwood Merrill will call the plays at second base. It's overcast here in New York, but no immediate threat of rain. The lights, of course, on here at Yankee Stadium as 6'7" Dennis Rasmussen is ready to pitch to John Cangelosi, leading off for the Chicago White Sox. About a foot difference in size right there. But that doesn't make a whole lot of difference anymore, does it? Ready to tell you about it, Don Drysdale.
Thank you very much, Frank. And once again, good evening, everyone. And the first pitch by Dennis Rasmussen is in and over. And we're underway. Cangelosi, Guillen, and Baines in that order, with Rasmussen making his 17th start of the year. That curveball a little bit low. The count goes to 1-1. Cangelosi at 243. He has a home run and 17 RBIs. Pagliarulo up on the grass at third. There's a fly ball, Death Valley, straightaway center field, something that Cangelosi doesn't ever want to do, and especially here at Yankee Stadium.
Well, Cangelosi will not get too many hits on balls hit in the air, Don. He'd be much better off if he could hit the ball on the ground as you look at the Yankee defense.
Yeah, and you have Pagliarulo at third, Zuvell at short, Randolph at second, and Mattingly at first. The outfield of Washington, Henderson, and Winfield from left to right. And the battery of Hasse and Rasmussen, as Ozzie Guillen will stand in. Ozzie with a 5-game hitting streak, hitting .252 with a pair of home runs and 33 RBIs. Takes his strike, 0-1. White Sox coming in last night from Chicago, getting in the early evening. One ball and one strike, the count. On deck, Harold Baines. And the count goes to 1-2.
Ozzie Guillen has a rather modest 5-game hitting streak, but he has been hitting the ball well and making good contact of late. He's hit also in 12 of his last 13 games, going 15 for 52.
Now the count of ball and 2 strikes. That's foul left side. Pagliarulo over and moving over and up on the tarp, but running out of room. Zuvell right behind him.
Pagliarulo has been just a bit disappointing with the glove at third base for the Yankees this year. I can't fault him myself, but they say that his fielding has fallen off just a bit. We'll talk more about his hitting when he comes to bat. Pagliarulo over at third base has committed 12 errors.
Outside, and the count goes to 2-2.
Hey, speaking of errors, or non-errors, Ozzie Guillen now, Don, has played 41 consecutive errorless ball games at shortstop.
And a chopper, Rasmussen over. He's got to hurry. Throws, and they just do get him.
Well, very close play at first base. We'll take another look at it. It's hit sort of off the end of the bat. Slow chopper off the third base side of the mound. Rasmussen fields well for a big man. Fields the ball in his glove, throws to Mattingly, and by a whisker, they get him at first base. Look at it from another angle. And he is out in a very close play. Rasmussen played that ball well, fielding it with his glove and not taking a chance on barehanded.
Harold Baines stands in. Harold hitting .316 with 12 home runs, 53 RBIs, and that will lead the Sox in the race for the Arby's RBI award. One ball and one strike. On deck, Ron Kittle. Just outside, and the count goes to 2-1. And Harold right there hitting .455 in his last 8 games.
Boy, he's been on a streak. He leads the Sox with 105 base hits.
Bounce right side. Randolph is there. And he'll throw him out. So the Sox are gone 1-2-3. After the first half inning of play, the White Sox nothing. And the New York Yankees coming up.
Well, the Sox went down in order at the hands of Dennis Rasmussen. In the top half of the first, there is no score as the Yankees come to bat against Richard Dotson. Now, Dot, a record of 7 wins and 8 losses in 18 starts this year, and a high earned run average of 5.22. Richard has pitched 110 and 1/3 innings. He has walked 45, struck out 43, and he has averaged giving up more than 1 base hit per inning pitched. 1 complete game, and that was his best outing of the year, and that was against the New York Yankees. As I mentioned in the opening remarks, were it not for a couple of home runs by Mike Pagliarulo, Dotson might well be 2-0 against New York this year instead of 1-1. In his last time out, Dotson had a 3-game winning streak snapped with a 6-3 loss to the Cleveland Indians. That was a week ago yesterday afternoon in Comiskey Park. Dot lasted just 4 1/3 innings, allowed 5 earned runs on 9 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 1 in that ball game. He'll be backed up with a Sox defense of Bobby Bonilla in left, John Cangellosi in center, Harold Baines in right, Tim Hewlett at third, Ozzie Guillen at short, Julio Cruz at second, Greg Walker at first, and Joel Skinner behind the plate. Now, I talked to Carlton Fisk briefly down in the Sox clubhouse before the ball game. Carlton is in uniform. But I'll tell you something, Don Drysdale, that stomach virus or flu or whatever Pudge had has really left him weak, and I'm sure that any of our viewers tonight who have undergone that know what Pudge is going through right now. So he is available, but his strength is still down.
Well, that is true, and I was talking to Carlton last night just after the club got in the hotel, and you can see it's taking its toll. There's no question about that, so he's just going to have to hope that that's in the past, build himself back up, and get ready to go. But it's definitely, I think, on a day-to-day basis, Frank, you'd have to say that as Henderson stands in. There's a line drive right center field. Well, Henderson's aboard.
Over the last several ball games, Don, we've noticed the opposition hitters swinging at the Sox pitcher's first pitch. Now, here it is, a fastball, and it's right out over the plate. And Henderson just stood there as if he was waiting for it, knew what was coming, and lined it sharply over the head of Julio Cruz. 1 base hit on 1 pitch.
Well, we talked about it before over at Comiskey Park, that you've got to change the style of pitching. It's so academic. All you do is bend one the first time up there and then go about your business. That's all. But, boy, I'll tell you, you see it, and it's basically in the youth. First pitch, fastball, coming out of the bullpen, first pitch, fastball, first pitch of the game, first pitch, fastball. You know, they really doesn't take a Rhodes Scholar, Frank, to figure that out after a while.
No, if I were a hitter, I'd go up there, and I think I'd be ready to swing at that first pitch.
Oh, you got it.
Sure you got to.
That's fouled away by Claudell Washington, who's hitting .308.
I go up there and look for the fastball. He throws me a curveball or an off-speed pitch, and I swing at it and miss. I just, I laugh at myself. Say, hey, all right, you got me that time, but I'll be ready for the next one.
That's it. You just got to.
But the odds are with the hitter, I think.
Oh, they are today. They are today. I'd guarantee you the odds are probably about 98% or more with the hitter. And when they get up that high, something's wrong. So all you got to do is just take 1 pitch and bend it and forget about it. It's all over. And the count 2-1.
Put something in their mind, if nothing else.
Yeah. Two balls and a strike. That's foul back, and the count goes 2-2. Dotson threw that ball well. So your infield of Hewlett and Guillen on the left side with Cruz and Walker right side. As you look at Mattingly on deck, the outfield of Bonilla, Cangellosi, and Baines from left to right. And your battery of Skinner and Dotson. There goes Henderson, and that pitch is fouled away. He could have stolen third by the time Skinner got that ball. He could have gone from first to third. He didn't have a walking jump. He had a running jump.
Well, you saw him standing down there at second base with that very quizzical look on his face. Say, hey, what's going on out there at the plate? You're right. I could have been halfway to third.
Well, he was halfway to second before the ball was ever released. And Skinner goes out and mentions something to Dot. And this afternoon, the Giants defeated the Cubs 6-4. Now the 2-2 count to Claudell Washington, and struck him out on a change, and a good one.
Right here in the first inning, we'd like to send along a big White Sox welcome to our affiliates: WYZZ-TV in Bloomington, WRSP-TV in Springfield, WQRF-TV in Rockford, WXIN-TV in Indianapolis, WAYK-TV in Palm Bay, Florida, KLJB-TV in Davenport, Iowa, and our flagship station, WFLD-TV, Fox Incorporated in Chicago.
Now here's Don Mattingly, and this twosome right here worked very well last year. As he takes low, the count 1-0.
Oh, Henderson and Mattingly. Oh.
Henderson and Mattingly, I mean, they were just, you've got Washington thrown in there right now, and he does not know Ricky Henderson that well or when he's going to go. There's a strike, and the count 1-1. But there was some phenomenal figure last year. 51 of the RBIs that Mattingly had. He drove in Ricky Henderson that many times. Henderson used to tell him, give me a chance, I'll be at second. Take a couple, I'll be at third. There it goes. Bouncer to Guillen, and they got no chance for Henderson. He throws Mattingly out. Again, Mattingly, or I should say Henderson, was halfway to second base.
Number 17, Mike Niesler, designated hitter.
Well, there's the play again, and phenomenal that they let Henderson get started like that. Maybe it's they're going by the Skinner out there at the mound again. Maybe it's going by the old basketball cliche. So-and-so is going to get his 46 points tonight. Let's just try to hold everybody else down. Henderson's going to steal his 3 bases tonight. Let's try to get the hitter out. I don't know, but you can't let the man get that big a lead.
Not if you expect to come out on top. Here's Mike Easler, getting 336, 7 home runs, and 46 RBIs. Mike with a 5-game hitting streak going for him. Anderson hit in the back of the arm. Dotson turning the opposite way. You're not going to pick many people off with that clockwise spin that way. You see Guillen trying to sneak in behind, and the ball getting Henderson in the back, and then off of the glove of Guillen in the back of the arm. Fly ball hit down the left field line. Long way to go. Guillen, Bonilla, Hewlett, and nobody can get it. They all go into the corner, and it's a foul ball. Easler hitting in 5 straight games, going 7 for 17. That pencils out at .412. He's also hit safely in 6 of his last 7, 12 of his last 15, and 23 of his last 27. So that .336 batting average is definitely legitimate. Outside with a change, and the count 1-1. Henderson with the lead that he can get at second. They would not have much of a play on him at third as far back as Hewlett is and off the line. He's just trying to gauge Dotson, trying to put something back in the reserve and in the thought tank. That's out of play. The count 1-2. Another good fastball by Dotson. A ball and 2 strikes. Down low. The count goes even at 2-2. Well, the story being talked around the ballpark tonight is about Oil Can Boyd, suspended by the Boston Red Sox, and we'll have a court date on the 27th or 29th, I believe. There's a line drive hit to left field. Bonilla coming on. He don't have a play. Here comes Henderson around third. It's cut off by Gee, and they don't get anybody. 1-0, New York.
Well, you look at it again as Easler goes with the pitch, hits it to the left side of center field. Bonilla over, fields the ball as quickly as he can. Henderson turns third. Bonilla's throw cut off by Guillen, figuring his only chance is to get Easler on a possible overturn at first base or trying to go to second, and the run scores. So the Yankees break on top 1-0.
And that will bring on Ron Hassey, who's hitting .302, 6 home runs, 27 RBIs.
That is the 84th run scored by Henderson, and bear in mind the fact that we're only halfway through the season, and Henderson led the American League in runs scored last year with 146, and now already 84 this year.
Out of play, 1-1 the count.
The Yankees will score runs, Don. They lead the American League in on-base percentage. They also lead the league in men left on base. But I think those two go hand in hand.
Well, that's true, and I think the big thing that you're going to check the New York Yankees on in 1986 is going to be how have their young pitchers fared, and that's about the whole story. You got Rasmussen. Well, he's been doing fine, thank you. 10-2. And all of a sudden, with the rash of injuries that they've had, they'll have Negro coming off the disabled list. He'll go tomorrow. But then a young right-hander that the Sox have not seen. That's hit deep left center field, but Bonilla, lots of room. That's out in Death Valley again. We'll talk about the Yankee pitching when we come back. But they pick up a run on a pair of hits. No errors, and they leave a man aboard. And after the first inning of play, the Yankees lead it 1-0.
Here's the schedule of games in the American League. Texas at Detroit, Minnesota at Baltimore, Dixon see if he can strike out some more people tonight, and Cleveland at Kansas City. Toronto at California, and Boston with Seaver, at Seattle with Langston. In the National League this afternoon, Vida Blue not only won that ball game for San Francisco, he hit a home run in his own cause, 6-4 over the Cubs. Tonight, Philadelphia at Cincinnati, San Diego at Pittsburgh. Also the Dodgers and the Cardinals, the Mets are in Houston, and the Atlanta Braves in Montreal. Right here, the Yankees lead by a score of 1-0 as we go to the top of the second. It'll be the middle of the batting order for the Sox. Don?
Ron Kittle will lead it off as he takes outside to count 1-0. Kittle hitting .208. He has 13 home runs, 41 RBIs. Inside, 2-0. Sox hoping that Kittle will bring out the long ball pretty soon. That's low, ball 3. His last 9 hits have been all singles. His last home run on June 29th at Oakland. And right here he has the count 3-0.
Well, we've said so many times, you have to have Kittle and Fisk driving runs if you're going to win it.
Up high, 4 pitches, and Kittle draws a free pass.
Just for the benefit of those who might not recall, down the lines here at Yankee Stadium, 312 to left, 310 to right. But those are really not true distances because the fence breaks back abruptly from the foul poles back to 353 in right, 385 in right center, 379 in left, 411 in left center, Death Valley, and 410 to straightaway center field. It's very strange contour in this ballpark, but anything you hit to left field or left center other than straight down the foul line is going to be caught.
Here's Timmy Hewlett as he takes a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Unless you hit it, just really hit it a ton.
You've got to hit it a ton. Hewlett fouls that away, and the count is 0-2.
One of the oddities of this ballpark, Don, I'm sure that you'll recall it, out there between the 353 and the 385 in right center field, there's really a wind tunnel that carries the ball out.
Yeah.
You get it right out there in that area, and that ball will just keep on going.
Well, there's a gate out there. There used to be the old bullpen in the old ballpark. As Hewlett goes after a bad pitch, and he's down on strike. One out to Walker.
Well, we'll take another look at it. Hewlett, you see him reaching way across the plate. That pitch well out of the strike zone as Rasmussen had him fooled completely on it.
Here's Greg Walker hitting .261. He has 10 home runs, 43 RBIs. Hard should be 2. Randolph to Zavella for 1. To Mattingly, they double him up. And the side is retired. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And after 1.5, 1-0 New York.
Every Monday night Sox home game in 1986 is a Sox half-price night. All box, reserved, and general admission tickets are half price. Now, our next Sox half-price family night of the year is set for July 28th against the Boston Red Sox. Well, there's your score as we go to the bottom half of the second inning. The Yankees lead 1-0. The run manufactured on a leadoff first pitch single by Ricky Henderson. He moved up on Mattingly's ground out as Henderson was running on the pitch and scored on a base hit by Mike Easler. So the Yankees have a 1-0 lead, and it'll be Winfield, Pagliarulo, and Randolph as we go to the bottom half of the second. This big guy, I understand, hit a ton out of a ball down in Houston.
He sure did. He hit that ball hard. David at .232 with 13 home runs, 56 RBIs. It was going to be interesting to see if he was going to be back in the lineup coming back here after the All-Star break, and here he is. He sits safely in 5 of his last 6 ball games as he takes outside 1-0.
He's been in 10 All-Star games.
Well, he's earned them. You've got to say that.
Really.
And the count goes to 2-0.
Batting .232 right now, maybe the lowest he's ever been hitting this late in a season.
Yeah, he's usually up. He just start off with that first number like Mattingly, 3, and then say 3 what? That's high, and right here it's 3-0. 1-0 New York, bottom of the second inning. First of a big 4-game series here in New York.
He's got a good man hitting behind him right now, Pagliarulo, especially with a right-hand pitcher out there.
He takes a walk. He trots to first, and Pagliarulo will step in. That is the first walk issued by Richard Dotson.
Now, this Pagliarulo, Don, has really hurt Dotson this year. He's hit 2 home runs off of him. Dot would have had a shutout against the Yankees his last time out when he beat him, had it not been for a Pagliarulo home run. And earlier this year, Pagliarulo beat him with a home run in a ball game.
Fouled away, back to the left side, and the count 0-1.
Yankees feel, and I've got to agree with them, that Pagliarulo is a legitimate contender for the American League home run title. He's tied for second in the league now with 21.
1-1 the count.
He's on pace to give him 38 home runs for the year. And there's that last pitch.
Base hit left field. Winfield the second. And he'll hold right there. So the Yankees put runners at first and second with nobody out here in the second inning, and that'll bring on Willie Randolph. And Jim Fregosi going to come out.
Well, as we head into the second half of the campaign, and again, we refer to the All-Star break as the midway mark. For some teams, it's a little better than halfway as far as games played are concerned. But going into the second half of the season, Wade Boggs of the Red Sox leads the league in hitting at .363, with Mattingly of the Yankees second at .341. In home runs, Jose Canseco of Oakland, 23. Then Barfield, Parrish, and Pagliarulo with 21. Canseco leads the league in RBIs with 76. Wally Joyner of California, a rookie, is second with 72. We mentioned earlier, Ricky Henderson now with 84 leads the league in runs scored. And Don Mattingly of the Yankees with 130 leads the league in base hits.
Here's Randolph. With Zuvella on deck, you would wonder about the bunt here. And there's a base hit right field. No bunt. Here comes Winfield. That'll score the run. Pagliarulo going to third. And it's 2-0 New York. Runners at first and third. And nobody out.
Well, here's the last pitch again. Pitch down low and away from Randolph, and he goes with it well. Randolph with a great eye. Slices it out into right field. No way you're going to get Winfield with those long strides carrying him home. The throw comes in again. Winfield across the plate. Randolph drives in the run, and the Yankees lead 2-0, and still nobody out with runners on the corners.
And we're going to get some action right away in the White Sox bullpen as Paul Zuvella stands in. You didn't figure, or you shouldn't have figured, that Randolph any kind of sacrifice position with Zuvella hitting behind him. But now you've got to run in runners at first and third, and you've got Zuvella standing in. Down low, the count 1-0.
1 hit in 32 trips for Zuvella.
There's Dolly throwing in the bullpen. Fouled right side. The Yankees have 28 of their next 38 games at home. Trying to make something to do with that. They have a losing home record of 20-21, but they have turned around. Prior to the All-Star break, they won 3 of 4 here at home.
Yeah, you're going to wonder whether that's going to help them or not.
And the White Sox have the next 21 out of 27 on the road. There goes Randolph. There's a push bunt. Here's a safety squeeze, and they get him. Excellent job of handling the bat by Paul Zuvella. It is 3-0.
Well, an excellent call by Lou Piniella, the skipper of the Yankees. Here it is again. The runner does not break from third until contact is made as the push bunt goes down the first baseline. Walker fields the ball. Zuvella runs around him, but Walker tags him out. However, on the safety squeeze, the run comes in to score. Pagliarulo crosses, and Zuvella has a run batted in. The Yankees wind up with Randolph at second and 1 down.
And you've got Ricky Henderson standing in. There's the first breaking pitch that Dotson has tried to throw. High.
That, by the way, is Zuvella's second RBI of the year.
Out of play right side. The count 1-1.
And his 4th sacrifice of the year. He leads the Yankee club. No, he doesn't either. Randolph has 5. I beg your pardon.
Jim Fregosi down in the Sox dugout. Eddie Brinkman on the right of your screen. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and a couple of runs in. 3-0 New York. In the bottom of the second, as you look at Lou Piniella, enjoying what he's seeing right now. There's a line drive to Hewlett, and that's all. Two outs to Washington.
Left fielder, Washington.
Hey, right there, just a high change. Got out in front, lined it right to Hewlett.
Yeah, no chance to get a double play on Randolph. He wasn't that far off the bag.
One ball and no strikes to count. Washington struck out his first time at bat. 2-0 the count. 3 runs on 4 hits for New York, nothing across for the White Sox.
Now we talk about Claudell Washington being a former White Sox player, Don. He is the most recent and 34th overall player to play for both the Yankees and the Mets here in New York.
And it is 3-0 with Mattingly on deck.
It used to be a rather small family of players, but now 34 members.
That's right. Growing all the time.
Yep.
There's Mattingly. And there's the strike, and the count is 3-1. Hit to left field. Bobby Bonilla giving ground. And that will do it. The Yankees are gone in the second inning, but they pick up 2 runs on 2 hits. No errors and leave a man. And after 2, they lead it 3-0.
Chicago White Sox baseball is sponsored in part by Bud Light, the light beer with the first name in taste. Everything else is just a light.
Now there you see the dimensions of Yankee Stadium. 379. Frank mentioned before, to straightaway left, center 411, and 410, 385 to 353. But it leaves out the very big part of 312 down the left field line and 310 down the right field line. And of course you have the natural grass here. And a reminder that the next Chi Sox luncheon will be on Friday, August 1st at the Hamilton Hotel in Idaska, and the luncheon will feature White Sox player Carlton Fisk, general manager Tom Haller, the new skipper Jimmy Fregosi. Luncheons are sponsored by the Chicago Sun-Times and Sherman Shoes, and the luncheon starts at 11:45, ends promptly at 1:30. You can reserve a place right now. Call 773-4000. Use any major credit card or call the White Sox office at 924-1000. And along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. Happy you've joined us tonight, first of 4, with these Yankees here in the Bronx from Yankee Stadium. It's 3-0 after 2. Sox trying to get it going in the third, and to call it for you, here's Frank.
Okay, Don Drysdale, thank you very much. And it's Bobby Bonilla to lead things off. The switch hitter fouls the first one back. Bonilla batting .247 right-handed as opposed to .272 left-handed. Both of his home runs this year have come as a left-hand hitter. His combined batting average is .262. Ball and a strike with Dennis Rasmussen on the mound for the Yankees. Slicing foul down the right side and out of play. We're talking about players who played for both the Yankees and the Mets, Don. If my research is correct, and I sort of did it off the top of my head here, Gene Woodling was the first man to play for both clubs. He played for the Yankees from 49 through 54 and played 1 year for the New York Mets, 1962. Yogi Berra, of course, played for the Yankees before Woodling. Berra was a Yankee in 46, but he did not play for the Mets until 65. So I believe Woodling would be the first.
He would be the. I remember Gene doing that.
Do you?
Yep, okay. I sure do.
Well, your memory's a lot better than mine. I could have saved all this research. Just
no.
Say, hey, Don, who was the first guy that ever played?
Well,
for the
I
Yankees
couldn't. I know Gene Woodling had to be really the first one.
Right center field. That ball is well hit, and it'll go to the wall. Bonilla will get a pair out of it. Winfield picks it off the boards, and Bonilla is in with a double, the Sox first hit of the night.
Bobby hit that ball hard as he comes back home here to the Bronx and gets to see the family once again. That ball got out there in a hurry. Winfield, those long looping strides to get over there, but he had no chance.
Don't you imagine that Bonilla and Cangelosi and perhaps Julio Cruz also were scrambling to get some tickets for this series?
Oh boy, yes sir.
All 3 of them born right here in this area. Julio, born in Brooklyn, fouls one back to the mezzanine area. Julio is hitting .261. And like Bonilla, better hitter left-handed, .279 as opposed to .229. He has no home runs and 15 RBIs. He laid off the high pitch, and the count is 1-1 to Cruz. The Yankees lead by a score of 3-0. We're in the third. 4-game set here in New York. That's a strike. And the count of ball and 2 strikes. Rasmussen in 2 starts against the Yankees prior to this. A record of 1-0, and that was a 3-hit shutout his last start. Julio fists one out into shallow right center, and with that great speed, Henderson gets to it. He had to come a long way for that ball, but he has good speed and gets a good jump on the ball.
Well, we'll look at it again right here. You see, Julio had to kind of drag his hands in a little bit to move that ball the other way. And it just hung up there for Henderson, who indeed had to come a long way for. But, boy, I'll tell you, speed will do a lot, Frank.
It really will. Henderson, I remember when the Yankees first traded for Henderson, he played in Oakland, he played left field, and he was probably the best left fielder in the league. Came over here, they put him in center field, and he was far from being the best center fielder in the league. Joel Skinner takes high and away, ball 1. Skinner hit a towering home run to the upper deck in left field in Sunday's game at Comiskey Park. It was his 2nd home run of the year. But he's had the base hits few and far between this season, batting .186. He had a pretty good rip right there and fouled it back. But Henderson has adapted to this very large center field here at Yankee Stadium.
Well, you think back of that Oakland outfield over there, and of course you had Dwayne Murphy in center field. He is still there. And you had Tony Armas in right. You had a heck of an outfield, and it didn't really weaken any when Armas went to Boston, because then you had a youngster out there in Mike Davis.
It was awfully hard to have a ball drop in for a base hit in that outfield.
Played very shallow.
Yep. Did Skinner check his swing in time? He did not. And it's a ball and 2 strikes. Strike call by Darrell Cousins right there at first base. And I don't think Skinner or the Sox would argue much on it. Pretty well went around. Did go around. 1-2 with 1 out. That time he laid off. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Skinner has 24 base hits this year, 3 doubles, 1 triple, 2 home runs. And the count will be full at 3-2.
Well, you could see Ron Hassey look over in the dugout and get Lou Piniella got his attention, and he just took his right hand and just banged his chest with it. If to say, keep that ball in here, get it in on him. You don't want him to extend those arms. Keep it in on him and tie him up.
Well, he came inside, but too far for his own good, did Rasmussen, and Skinner is on. Runners at first and second. The second walk given up by the left-hander.
Center fielder, John Cangelosi.
That last one, a close pitch, somebody jawing over at Ted Hendrick out of that Yankee dugout.
And now Cangelosi fly to center field his first time up tonight. Cangelosi seems to hit the ball in the air much more often as a right-hand batter than left-handed, John.
That will happen to switch hitters.
Ball 1.
Well, he's got a different stance right-handed than left-handed. That's for openers. Left-handed, he's got that right foot well up on the plate with a open stance. This way, from the right side, about straight away and out of a little bit of a normal crouch, not crouching off of that back leg.
I just like to see John hit the ball on the ground more often. 1-1 pitch to him, and it's high. Of course, the pitchers are going to go up the ladder on Cangelosi, too.
Well, what used to happen in situations of Cangelosi, we're going to get a little chat right here.
Mark Connor, the pitching coach, on his way out.
A lot of the older hitters and old-time players, and some of them have been around as hitting instructors and things like that, they had a very interesting thought. You just get a bigger bat for them. You get a bigger bat with a bigger barrel and a bigger handle, and they're going to give them a little more balance, and it's going to feel maybe a little bit better in their hand, and they're not going to be able to have that barrel dropping on them if it's not really balanced right, but they'll just get the idea of hitting the ball from top down. You don't want to go from bottom up.
That ball is well hit. We're talking about him not hitting the ball in the air, and that is a fair ball. Rattles around in the corner. Bonilla comes in to score, and the Sox are on the board. Skinner stops at third. Well, just like I said, I'd like to see Cangelosi hit the ball on the ground more, Don, and not hit the ball up in the air. And what does he do? Line one to the corner to drive in a run.
Well, watch where the bat is, though. You see the bat, he's coming that ball up in his eyes, and he's hitting it on the line. He's not down and lifting up. He's from the top coming down, and he hits it hard down into that corner. The Sox might have had another run, but they did not have the speedster at first in Joel Skinner. He stops at third, but they have a chance to pick up some more right here.
So it's 3-1. The Yankees, as Cangelosi drives in his 18th run of the year with a two-base hit. For Cangelosi, the double is his 12th of the season. And the first pitch again is popped up to the shortstop side. Paul Zubella is right there to capture it. That is really an upsetting out for Guillen. Runners at second and third, and he pops the ball up on the infield. Without a chance to get a run in.
Well, he went after a bad pitch as you look at Bob Shirley starting to throw down in the bullpen. Pitch high and out of the strike zone.
Then that'll take a base hit, and here's the most logical guy to get a base hit on the entire ball club, Harold Baines. He has 105 and leads the White Sox. He's the only man above the century mark. Strike one call. Baines grounded out to Randolph at second, his first time at bat. Baines with 105 hits and nobody else close to 100. Left center field, but on the run, Washington, and he makes the catch on the dead run. Baines hit the ball well, but Washington caught up with it. The Sox score one and lead two, and in the middle of the third, it's New York 3 and Chicago 1.
There's some American League scores. Second inning, Texas 2-0 over Detroit. No score in the second. Minnesota, Baltimore. A little bit later, Cleveland, Kansas City. And out on the coast, it'll be Toronto at California, Boston at Seattle. In the National League this afternoon, behind Vine Blue, the Giants 6-4 over the Cubs. And the Dodgers at St. Louis starting shortly. Atlanta, Montreal, no score, second inning. 1-0 Philly over Cincy in the third. And 1-0 Pittsburgh over the Padres in the third. No score. Game getting underway shortly. New York at Houston.
The first baseman.
And right here, the Yankees lead 3-1 as we go to the bottom half of the third, and Don Mattingly will lead off. It'll be Mattingly, Easler, and Hasse. Dotson misses the first pitch, ball one. Mattingly grounded out to the shortstop in the first inning. He did advance Henderson up to second base. Fouled out of play. And Henderson later scored on a base hit by Easler. Yankees 3 runs, 4 hits. The Sox 1 run on 2 hits. That's a shot into right center. That'll be in for the base hit.
Ellie gets the change up over the plate. Mattingly setting right on it, just comes up on the tiptoes and lines a base hit to right center.
That is his league-leading 131st base hit. And the batter, Mike Easler, who drove in a run in the first inning with a single to left center. The Yankees now have 5 hits off Dot. Foul back in the upper deck and out of play. Well, they're planning a big weekend here at Yankee Stadium, culminated by the Old Timers game on Saturday afternoon. Always one of the great days in Yankee Stadium every year. And this year, the theme of Old Timers Day here in New York is a salute to the 1961 New York Yankees. A ball and a strike to Easler.
61. That was the year that they played Cincinnati.
Fouled up. Well, I'll be honest with you, Don. For 18 years, I was master of ceremonies here at Yankee Stadium for Old Timers Day. I will not be, of course, this year, and I don't think I could.
Yeah, that.
I really don't think I could get through it. 1-2 pitch. High pop fly in a shallow right center. Baines and Cangelosi look at each other. Cangelosi makes the call and the catch. Because you could not salute the 1961 New York Yankees without devoting a good portion of the program to the memory of Roger Maris.
Well, that's true. That was the year, of course, Roger hit the 61 home runs.
And having known Roger quite well, I don't believe, in fact, I know I couldn't get through it. Anyway, we have one out, a man on, and here's Ron Hasse. Fly to left, his first trip. Chatting with Hasse before the ball game. Of course, Hasse traded over to the White Sox before the season started, then traded back to the Yankees. Hasse said, hey, he said, I was going to follow you over there. You know that. I said, well, I was looking forward to it. And he said, what happened? Didn't they think I could hit in their ballpark? A little tongue-in-cheek. There goes Mattingly, and it's caught. It's caught by Cruz, and they will get the double play. Cruz shows it to second base umpire Mark Johnson and then flips on over to Walker. So the double play ends the inning at the end of 3, though the Yankees lead it 3-1. Most baseball fans have probably dreamed of playing against stars like Minnie Minoso, Billy Pierce, or Muscarin. Well, your dreams can become reality at the second annual White Sox Rodman and Renshaw Fantasy Camp and Investment Seminar. It's next February, 1st through 8th. You can attend a week-long baseball fantasy camp down in Sarasota, Florida, one of the prettiest cities in the state of Florida. Plus, receive up-to-date investment information from the experts at Rodman and Renshaw. For more information, call 924-1000 and ask about the fantasy camp. That's 924-1000 in Chicago. We go to the 4th inning here at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees are on top of a 3-1 score. And the Sox will lead things off with Ron Kittle, then Tim Hewlett and Greg Walker. Foul back. Kittle walked on 4 pitches leading off the second inning. Then after Hewlett struck out, Walker grounded into a double play, and the Sox were gone, really, with only 3 men coming up. Fouls the fastball back off Hasse's mask, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Kittle hit well against the Yankees last year, batted .310 against New York, hit 3 solo home runs, and those were his only RBIs. Good sharp breaking curveball. Kittle is down, and that'll be the second strikeout for Rasmussen. His 82nd of the year, and here it is again. Breaking pitch, and Kittle is frozen. 1 away, and Tim Hewlett will bat. He struck out in the second. We mentioned the fact that Rasmussen is off to the best start this year since Ron Guidry in 1978, when Guidry went 13-0 in his first 17 starts. Strike 1 to Hewlett. and a strike. Fans reacting to a banner that or a sign that is going through the stand. I don't know whether they're reacting so much to the sign as to the young lady who is carrying it. Hewlett looks at a breaking pitch, and it's 1-2. In the air, left field. Washington will be there. And there are 2 down.
First baseman, Greg Walker.
Here it is again. That ball is well hit by Hewlett. But here in Yankee Stadium, just a routine fly ball to left field. 2 outs, and the batter will be Greg Walker. You look at this ballpark, and we showed you the dimensions and talked about them a little earlier. You can see why the Yankees need left-hand pitching. Just get out there and let the right-handers hit the ball as far and as often as they want to. Just keep the left-hand hitters under control, keep them out of the short porch and right, and that spells success. Two balls and a strike to Gregory. Walker grounded into a double play started by Randolph, his first at bat. Walker had 2 of those 6 triples in one ball game. 3 balls and a strike. The 3-base hit, of course, the hardest to get in baseball. At least I think it is.
I got to agree with you.
That one sliced off to left field, but again, Claudell Washington got a good jump, and he's there when it comes down. The Sox go in order. And at the end of 3.5, the score is New York 3 and Chicago 1.
Well, a reminder that the White Sox and Coca-Cola would like to invite you to be part of the Chi Sox fan club. For just $10, you receive 2 free tickets to a regular home game, invitations, all fan club sponsored events, and of course much more. And for an application or more information, call or write Comiskey Park.
I will do that. And Dave Winfield will lead off the bottom half of the 4th inning. The Yankees are out in front by a score of 3-1. Winfield drew a walk and gave it a score run back in the 2nd. Yankees 3 runs, 5 hits. The Sox 1 run on 2 hits. One hopper to Ginn. And Ozzy's flip over to first base in plenty of time. The White Sox made this announcement today. We'll take another look at this one. Winfield banks it on one hop to Ginn. The White Sox made a trade today. Pitcher Al Jones and outfielder Tom Hartley to the Milwaukee Brewers in exchange for pitcher Ray Searage. The announcement came from Vice President Baseball Operations Ken Harrelson. Ponderillo had a base hit in the 2nd inning and came at a score run. And the 1-0 pitch. He has a rip and doesn't find it. A ball and a strike. All 3 players involved in that Chicago-Milwaukee trade are currently playing in the minor leagues and will stay in the minor leagues. They'll report to the minor league affiliates of their new clubs. Changeup is grounded to the first baseman. Walker will take it himself. Good thing he did, because Dot was a little slow getting over there. And there are 2 down. I remember Searage was up with the Brewers earlier this year. In fact, he had a save in a ball game pitching against the Sox.
Second baseman, Willie Randolph.
Searage will report to AAA Buffalo. Jones is being assigned by the Brewers to AAA Vancouver, and Hartley will report to Class A Beloit. Willie Randolph had an RBI single to right field in the 2nd inning, driving in his 34th run of the year. He takes a strike. Randolph leads the league in walks. And I doubt that many of those are intentional walks. He just has a good eye for the strike zone. Very unusual figure there. 215 errors for Randolph. A ball and a strike. Randolph has walked 66 times. Wade Boggs of Boston 60. Randolph fouls the bunt off. A ball and 2 strikes. Four-game series here in New York. This starts an 11-game road trip for the Sox. 4 here in New York, then 3 in Cleveland, and 4 in Baltimore. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Floyd Bannister takes the baseball from Jim Fregosi tomorrow night. Joe Niekro, just coming off the disabled list, pitches for New York. Randolph, fly ball, right field. Baines moving under it. And that will retire the side. The Yankees go 3 up, 3 down, and at the end of 4, it's New York 3 and the Sox 1. Join the Shy Sox fan club as they travel to Arlington, Texas to support the White Sox on the road August 22nd through 25th. The package includes round-trip airfare from Midway, hotel accommodations at the team hotel, tickets to the 3-game series, and more for only $364. For more information, call 362-0222. That's 362-0222. A donation will be made to the Shy Sox Kids charity for each person traveling. We go to the 5th inning and back to Don Drysdale.
And Bobby Bonilla hitting the first ball by Zuvella, who tried to play it on a do-or-die play. And we'll see how they score it. Yeah, the Sox get the leadoff man aboard on here in the 5th inning.
Second baseman.
Well, they'll probably wait till they watch the replay. A lot of official scorers will do that now, and I certainly don't blame them. They had that advantage. There it is on your replay as Bonilla's down at first base, and he has a base hit. It scored a base hit. Bonilla's 2 for 2.
That's going to be a tough play for Zuvella.
Really?
As I said before, do or die, playing it off the hip.
Play looks awfully good when you make it.
That's right. So Julio Cruz takes a strike, and the count is 0-1.
Well,
Pagliarulo up on the grass at third.
I was going to say, Bonilla playing before his hometown folks is 2 for 2. Now we got to get Cruz. There, Cangelosi's had a double and a run batted in. Cruz got to do something now.
That's the only run of the evening so far for the Sox. And he takes a strike. Very quickly 0-2. We're talking about the Yankee pitching on what they really, offensively, why they've got a good ball club. Look at that last pitch. Cruz, look, he's going to bunt and then took.
Yep, took it, and he didn't have much of the bat left to bunt with there, did he? He had the hands well up past the mid portion of the bat. Well, the Yankees have to make a decision, Don, I think, right here. It's pure and simple. Youth or age, which is going to be.
Right.
They got some good-looking kids, but they've got some veterans now. Niekro goes tomorrow night.
Up high, 1-2, and we'll see Scott Nielsen. The White Sox have not seen him, Frank. I saw him in his major league debut down at Texas Monday night. A week ago Monday. Got him looking. Cruz will have to walk away.
Well, you talk about Scott Nielsen. Now, it's here's that last pitch again. Cruz takes it right across the inside corner. Strike 3 call. It's going to be Nielsen or Tommy John, I guess. They still have John, but is it going to be youth or is it going to be the veterans? And that's a decision that Piniella and Mr. Steinbrenner and the Yankee front office just have to sit down and make, I guess. They've got the kid Tewksbury, who seems
Draybeck.
Draybeck. They're using him in both the relief and starting role.
Joel Skinner fouls the first pitch away. The count is 0-1. Well, I'll guarantee you one thing. From what I saw off of Scott Nielsen down there, and winning his major league debut against Texas, and then his last time out, he pitched a shutout. there's no question in my mind that he would be one of the pitchers. Now, how the rest of them, what they do with him, I don't know. He's got good stuff. Young man out of Brigham Young University. Up high, the count, 1-1.
So he's pitched, what, 16 innings, allowed 15 hits. Walked only 5, struck out 9.
Kind of a sinker slurve type pitcher.
I gather from that he may not be that overpowering.
He's got a good he's got a he's got a pretty good fastball. But it's a moving fastball. 1-2 the count.
There again, they got to look ahead till the month of September, where it could go down to a dogfight between the Yankees and the Red Sox. And now, do you want the kids in there, or do you want the veterans?
Boy, that's where you're in a catch-22 situation.
The Red Sox may be in a bit of turmoil now. We mentioned briefly the oil can Boyd situation before, and they're going with their pitching. It's carried them so far.
Bonilla just did get back that time.
I'll tell you.
Tardy.
Yes, he was. Almost caught him napping out there. It didn't look like that good a move over there from Rasmussen. So one story, of getting back to Oil Can Boyd for a second, that Dr. Pappas, the Red Sox team physician, wanted Boyd to have a little counseling.
That might be too late.
Yeah, could be.
Skinner down on strike.
I know they talked about that way back in the spring. Here's that last pitch. Skinner just swung underneath it. You look at it from a side angle. That'll be the 4th strikeout, and 2 of them back-to-back here, and he has struck out 3 of the last 6 batters.
Here's Cangelosi, 1 for 2 tonight. Has driven in the only Sox run in the 3rd when he doubled. His 18th RBI of the year. 1 ball and no strikes.
2 starts ago, when Rasmussen pitched his shutout against the White Sox, he walked 4 and struck out 7 in that ball game. You know, he won his last time out 11-1, so he's only given up 2 runs now in his last 2.5 ball games.
Well, he's won his last 4 in a row. He's looking at a partial line on Rasmussen. That's high. The count 2-0. His last loss was a while back on June 3rd against California.
He's really come into his own. I always liked Rasmussen. There's a lot of scouts have liked him, and a lot say no. And he's been, I guess, sort of a mystery type pitcher, but he is pitching well.
Yeah, the thing is too that I think the key to Rasmussen is if he can just get his curveball over every now and then. He's got to get that over. He's not an overpowering left-hander. He'll kind of turn it over there a little bit. He's learned a little bit more about pitching. Then on the other hand, you'd like to see how many runs have the Yankees been putting on the board for him. You mentioned 11 his last start, and then prior to that against the White Sox they had 8. That can be a lot of difference. And you look at pitchers that have big years, and a lot of times that is really one of the main reasons. Inside, and he walks him.
Well, looking down here at his own earned run average, though, of 3.33, and that, I'll buy that.
Yes, that is very respectable.
Of course, when you get that, if you get that big lead early in the ball game, it tends to relax a pitcher. And can change his style of pitching around.
That's right. That's a key thing right there. You just said changing his style. Now all of a sudden, if he's a power pitcher, and he does have command, he can turn around, and he can just play a little bit with some sequence of pitches every now and then. It's not a 1-0, and every pitch the game doesn't hinge on every pitch. Ozzie Guillen takes high 1-0 with Baines on deck. So indeed, that can make a lot of difference. Popped up. A ball and a strike. There's a strike, and the count goes to 1-2.
Here's that last pitch. I'll tell you, Guillen has given a little ground up there at the plate against that left-hander. Don't you think Hasse and Rasmussen don't see that? He's going to have trouble reaching a strike over the outside part of the plate.
Well, Ozzie will back up a little bit against left-handers at times, as you look at Jim Fregosi and Mark Hill down in the dugout. Got him looking. Sox are gone. No runs, a hit, no errors, and they leave a pair to the bottom of the fifth. 3-1 New York.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago White Sox for the entertainment and non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction or other use of this program without the express written consent of the Chicago White Sox and Fox Television Stations Incorporated is prohibited. Well, nothing in on the West Coast games as yet. Boston playing at Seattle and Toronto at California. Minnesota and Baltimore tied up 1-1 in the fifth inning. Cleveland and Kansas City, no score in the second. And Texas has a 1-0 lead over Detroit. That's in the fifth inning in Detroit. Right here, the New York Yankees lead the Sox 3-1 as we go to the bottom half of the fifth inning, and it'll be Paul Zuvella to lead off. He had a big at bat in the second inning. That sacrifice bunt that drove in a run and advanced another runner up to second base.
That'll be Zuvella, then the top of the order, Henderson and Washington. 3-1, Yankees on top. Takes a strike, 0-1. And very quickly 0-2. Dodgers didn't score in the first inning. The Cardinals at bat in St. Louis. Padres leading Pittsburgh 2-1. That's in the fifth.
And this afternoon, if you didn't catch it, the Giants over the Cubs 6-4 at Wrigley.
A ball and 2 strikes. Outside. Minnesota, Baltimore tied at 1. That's in the fifth. Cleveland at Kansas City, no score in the second. Texas still on top of Detroit, 1-0 in the fifth. Field line, fair ball into the corner. Extra bases. Baines chasing it down. Zuvella stops at second base with a double.
Well, it's a long time coming, but that will be Zuvella's first extra base hit and only his second hit of the season. Down toward the end of the bat, and he slices it just down the line and at the corner in right field. It is a fair ball by about 3 feet as it rolls to the corner, and Zuvella opens the fifth with a double.
And he gets a standing ovation. That might be his first hit here at home, and Jim Fregosi going out to the mound.
It is his first hit at Yankee Stadium, Don. He got his other base hit, an infield bouncer off the carpet at the Metrodome in Minneapolis. One of the New York writers, Moss Klein of the New York Star Ledger, was telling me before the ball game that the ball did not nearly get as far as third base. But on a high bounce, Zuvella beat it out. So it is his first Yankee Stadium hit. And that was not a derisive cheer. That was heartfelt. As you look at the left-hander, Joel McCune, in the Sox bullpen. Sometimes, and it's not limited to Yankee Stadium. I guess fans in every city will do it on occasion. They'll have a derisive cheer. The player is going bad, and it's unfortunate, but it will happen. The guy is going bad. He'll get a derisive cheer, but I think that was a heartfelt thing for Zavella.
Now the leadoff double, and then we'll bring on Ricky Henderson. 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the first inning with Claudell Washington on deck. Oh, and 1 the count. Bouncer Dotson has Zavella. Now see how the cheers go. Got to give it to Guillen, who runs him down. They make the tag on the foot, and Henderson stays at first. Time is called. Good play by Dotson.
Really good play by Dotson. And Zavella unable to stay in the rundown play long enough to let Henderson advance to second base. We'll watch it again, and you'll see Dotson do exactly what he should. He fields the ball, first of all, which he should. Now he'll run right at the runner and make the base runner commit himself one way or the other. He makes him commit back towards second, which he should do as he circles in behind him, blocks his way to third, flips the ball to Guillen, who tags him out, and they execute so quickly that Henderson is unable to advance to second base. Once you're caught there, the best thing a base runner can do is stay in a rundown long enough to let his teammate advance a base. But Zavella's not able to do that. Well, after all, only his first double, Don.
There's a strike to Claudell Washington. Well, the thing that Dotson did so well, he cut him off like a cutting horse right there.
Yeah, really.
In front of him, and wouldn't let him go to third. And ran him back towards second, and that was the key to the play. There goes Henderson. That's fouled away, and Ricky's going to have to come back again and said, Claudell, you and me are going to have a little chat, my man. I'm getting a little tired of that. He's had 2 stolen bases tonight that he could have crawled down there on. And nothing to show for it, but you see 51 on the year, so he has executed a time or 2 prior to tonight.
Well, he's stolen 51. He's been thrown out 13 times. Excellent ratio. Henderson will lead the league in stolen bases, no question about it, unless he gets hurt, of course.
Dotson trying to make him stop. That's what he's got to do, because Henderson will get that moving lead on you. Sometimes it'll be a walking lead. Other times it's just a flat-out running lead. But if you let him get out there, just hold it. There he goes. See, they just don't hold it long enough. Throw by Skinner, not in time. He's getting that lead, and he's relatively close to the bag. What you got to do is let him extend the lead to the point to where he has to stop.
Well, here we don't see his lead, as you just see the tail end of it, which doesn't mean a whole lot, except that he slides in well under the attempted tag by Ozzie Guillen. Still don't see him get the lead, so we cannot expand on what Don is talking about. When you're talking about getting that moving lead off first base, you've got to freeze that base runner. You've got to make him stop.
That's it. Now he's liable to go to third. That's down low. The count 2-1. So it's going to be up to Guillen to keep him close. And that Minnesota-Baltimore 1-1 tie after 4. Lee Lacy's hit his 7th home run of the year. That's Viola against Dixon. Correa and Terrell, bottom of the 5th inning, 1-0 the Texas Rangers over Detroit. Cleveland at Kansas City, scoreless after 1. Candiotti and Saberhagen. There he goes to third, and he fouls this away. Now Ricky's saying, I know I'm going to have a chat with that man.
Well, he's got to have a sign with him, too. Obviously, they don't have a sign, or if they do, Washington is not picking it up. And there again, Washington new to the ball club. I don't know how many times he has batted behind Ricky Henderson. But it becomes a matter of teamwork. You look at third base coach Don Zimmer. He's got nothing to do with it. Henderson's running on his own out there, I think, Don.
Oh, there's no question. He's green lighted, and he will go when he thinks he gets a chance. Dot taking a little extra time getting rid of it. And right there, got him looking.
Only the second strikeout for Dotson. We'll take another look at it. He has claimed Claudel both times as he catches the inside corner just about knee high, or at least so thinks plate umpire Ted Hendry, who calls strike 3.
Looked like Ted Hendry had a little trouble getting his called strike sign down. Might have got his own confused with Ken Kaiser. Yeah, those left-handers, you got to watch them anyway.
Yep.
Here's Mattingly as he takes a strike. Told you about San Francisco defeating the Cubs 6-4 in front of 30,598 at Wrigley Field. Blue and Kutcher homered for the Giants. Outside.
Don't want to interrupt you here, but I'm going to. You got a little conflict of interest right here. Here in Yankee Stadium, they've always referred to Don Mattingly as the hitman. But throughout baseball, Mike Easler has been known as the hitman. Now they're teammates.
Well, there's Hitman 1 and Hitman 2.
Well, I'll take both of them. I'll tell you that. Put a bat in their hands. They can play for me anytime. And they can be called anything they want to be called.
That's right.
Well, Mattingly comes up the plate, and Easler looks up, and the message board out there is flashing Hitman, Hitman. I wonder what he's thinking about. I'm not up there yet.
Here goes Henderson. And a bouncer. Foul ball.
He's determined he's going to steal third base, isn't he?
I'll tell you, it's absolutely amazing the jumps that he's had tonight.
Really, really, really. Well, Sox fans who remember Luis Aparicio, he was the first one I recall that was just a magician at getting that moving lead off first base, and he wouldn't get that big a lead. Of course, I didn't see him play for the Sox. I saw him in Baltimore. But he, you know, his feet would be moving, and unless you made him stop, hey, forget about it.
Well, anybody at home could even try this. You can move a little quicker from a moving position than a just dead set position.
Oh, without a doubt. Even I can. And I don't move too quickly either way.
That's fouled away, and the count 2-2. 2 outs. Dotson trying to get out of it right here with the Yankees on top by 2, 3-1. You see Neil Allen, Joe Cowley, Wayne Tollison over in the corner.
That quote I read from Neil Allen today, somebody's talking about his attention span, and he said, well, he was never noted as a brain surgeon.
That's fouled away.
But I'll tell you, the way he pitched his last start, his start Sunday against Baltimore, he showed the Orioles something. Nobody's happier than a winning pitcher the game after. And this is the game after, not the day after, but the game after.
2-2 the count. There goes Henderson to third again. Way back. This ball is long gone.
No question about it. Once that ball jumped off the bat, you knew it was gone. Just how far back in the upper deck was it going to be? It actually hit the facing of the upper deck above the 353 sign, which is ground level, and that is all for Dotson. But let's watch that one again. You talk about a guy getting all of it. I think Mattingly gets all of this one as he drills it off the facing of the upper deck right there. And for Mattingly, home run number 15 and RBIs number 64 and 65 for the year. So a pitching change being made here at Yankee Stadium. Fregosi at the mound. There's a break in the action. The Yankees lead 5-1, and we'll be right back. Well, Joel McCune will be the new pitcher for the Chicago White Sox here in the bottom half of the 5th inning, with the Yankees leading by a count of 5-1. McEwen in 28 games has a record of 3-1, an earned run average of 3.04. One save, 28 2/3 innings pitched. Only 14 base hits, which is excellent, but 17 walks as opposed to 13 strikeouts. So McEwen on after Dotson goes 4 2/3, allows 5 runs. They're all earned. 7 base hits. He walked 1, struck out a couple, and gave up the home run to Mattingly, his farewell pitch in this ball game. So McEwen on will work to Easler with Hasse on deck. Don?
And here's Easler as he stands in. He's 1 for 2 with an RBI tonight. On deck, Hasse as a sidearm split finger fastball is high and inside. Montreal 4-0 over Atlanta in the 6th. 1-1 tie, Philly Cincinnati in the 6th. And the Mets at Houston with the Astros leading 1-0. That's in the 3rd. A ball and a strike. St. Louis 3-0 over the Dodgers, and Hershiser in the 2nd inning. Padres still 2-1 over Pittsburgh. That's in the 6th. We gave you that giant 6-4 final over the Cubs this afternoon. 2-1 the count. Boston will be at Seattle, and Toronto at California on the coast and starting later. Julio Cruz has it bounce off him, but he picks it up and throws him out. And the side retired, but not before. New York comes up with a pair of runs on 2 hits, and we're through 5. The Yankees lead at 5-1. Well, Harold Baines will lead it off, and on Tuesday, July 29th, prior to the Sox game with the Red Sox, Interlake Incorporated presents the White Sox Western Open Challenge. And baseball stars like Greg Walker, Carlton Fisk, Jim Rice. Well, we'll tell you about this as we go along here. Baines takes high. Mark Hill will face off against pro golfers like Scott Verplank and Freddie Couples, and the closest to the pin contest to raise money for charity. 1 ball and 1 strike. And all fans who attend this game can present their ticket stub at Wednesday's Western Open Pro-Am at Butler, and that will be for free admission. And it's 1-2. So again, remember that date, Tuesday, July 29th. Then you keep the ticket stub, presented at Butler. On Wednesdays, Western Open, the Pro-Am event at Butler. That will give you free admission. So for tickets, call 559-1212. Use your charge card or stop by the ballpark. 2-2 to Baines. Loop foul left side.
I don't know about closest to the pin, but if you put that pin about 600 yards away from the tee, I'd take Jim Rice.
Boy, he can hit it.
He can.
Curveball high. Full count, 3-2.
That man may be able to hit a golf ball as far as anybody in the world.
High, and he walks him.
There have been legendary stories about the distance that Rice can get.
Well, I know Ken Harrelson told me where he hit a ball at my club at home on the 8th hole, and boy, I'll tell you, that's hard to believe.
A little awesome, was it, to
well,
think about?
He just went over about 4 backyards and 5 rooftops. And cut the corner. That's fouled out of play. Look out. Oh, these decks, you just hate that people come charging down to that lower rail, and
I won't look.
you just hope they put on the binders in time.
Yep.
Ron Kittle fouling that pitch back. That's hit to the hole and backhanded. Nice play. They just get the lead man at second base. Good play by Zuvella to Randolph to get Bain 6-4 if you might be scoring.
All right, here it is again. That's a tough play for the shortstop. He goes a long way in the hole for it. Backhands the ball, sets, and gets plenty on the throw to second base as they force Baines. Randolph will throw back to first, not in time to double up Kittle. But that's what the Yankees had been lacking earlier in the year, was a guy at shortstop that could make that play that Zuvella just made there. So I'll tell you, if Zuvella winds up hitting 200, he'll earn his keep here with that glove.
200, they'd probably throw a picnic for him if he does that.
Well, he's only got about 140 points to go to get up there. Incidentally, you know, I'm not saying this derisively. Zuvella, though, they did trade for him for defense at shortstop, which they did not have. Now, tonight he has his second base hit. He's had as many hits as he's made errors.
That's fouled away by Timmy Hewlett, and the count is 0-2.
So Zuvella will help them, and it's hard to believe that a club cannot find a shortstop. Now, a lot of clubs look for third baseman, but the Yankees just they had Meacham, who was not that bad, really. But I think they put a lot of pressure on Meacham. Every time Meacham would make an error, the pressure would just build up to the point where he couldn't play here.
Fouled right side. You saw Ron Guidry down in the Yankee dugout keeping the chart tonight. And the bandages have been removed from his hand. Had stitches in that throwing hand.
Stopped the line drive with it last time on the mound.
That's out of play. The count 0-2. Well, you got to stop those line drives in the pocket, with or without a glove. 0-2 the count. Tapper foul.
By now, you know Guidry is going to go back in the rotation there again. When he comes back off the disabled list, somebody else has to go. It's going to become very...
Well, there could be a thing, Frank. There could be a little shakeup in that bullpen, too. That's been a little bit of a problem for the Yankees this year, getting consistency out of that bullpen. Now, Timmy Hewlett hanging tough.
Well, they got Fisher out there, 4-5 with 4 saves. And an earned run average of 5.20. Righetti is still their closer out of the pen. He's got 19 saves, allowed 49 hits in 52 innings, struck out 41, and an ERA of 3.66.
Hit well left field. Washington back, going back to the wall. Look at it, it's gone. Timmy Hewlett, he got it all.
Now, what do you suppose they're talking about? There it is to Hewlett, just about thigh high, and he drives the ball deep. Claudel Washington will go to the boards and watch it sail. That ball, whoa, he hit his head on it. That's what it was. He took a pretty good smash right there. I didn't realize that at first. We'll look at it again. He doesn't know where the fence is. That's why he was, well, I'm glad he was grinning. If I hit my head that hard, I'm not sure I could laugh about it. But he did not have a hand stretched out there, and he really did not know where he was, we saw on the replay.
Now Greg Walker stands in. So for Hewlett, his 7th home run of the year. RBIs number 22 and 23, and it's 5-3 New York. White Sox trying to climb back into it. There's a strike and the count 1-1. Yeah, Claudel, that was an abrupt stop.
It really was. It's a good thing that wall is padded. He could have done some damage.
There's a base hit right field. Got a curveball up. And here comes Lou Piniella.
Well, Lou's wasting no time. If he's got somebody there in the pen ready, I think he'll make a pitching change right here. We'll take another look at this one. That pitch is up to Walker, and he drills it on a line to right field. On the Timmy Hewlett home run, our good friends at Busch Beer will donate $250 to the Shy Sox kids, and that money will help fight terminal illness in children. And our congratulations to Tim Hewlett and our thanks to Busch Beer.
Boy, I'll tell you one thing. He's not walking out there asking him what he's going to have tomorrow for breakfast. He started talking about 30 feet away. And he's a little hot. Well, rightfully so. They had a 5-1 lead. He's out there, and he has Hewlett 0-2. He makes a mistake. You got two managers here tonight, I'll tell you. They will let you know what they're thinking.
Well, you've got the Italian blood boiling on the one side, on the White Sox side with Jim Fregosi, and the Spanish blood boiling over on the other side, and Lou Piniella with the New York Yankees. I'll tell you a funny story about Piniella. You know, I don't know how many years it was, but well, I'll finish in a minute.
Here's Bobby Bonilla, and he fouls that pitch back. The count is 0-1.
I'm sure it was 3 or 4 years that Piniella was with the Yankees as a player. As you take a look at Joe Cowley, he's not going to swing that bat in anger. It had to be at least 3 years after Piniella joined the Yankees as a player, and Phil Rizzuto still thought he was Italian.
Up high, the count 1-1. Bobby Bonilla 2 for 2 tonight. A double, a run scored, and he is single. 5-3 New York, top of the 6th. Action in that Yankee bullpen. Looks like Bob Shirley one, and it could be Fisher the other. That's high, and it's 2-1. Well, Dennis Rasmussen out there.
Well, you talk about Piniella barking a little bit when he went out. He's still thinking back to the leadoff hitter Baines, who reached on a walk.
That's right. Two and 2 the count.
Well, Kittle replaced Baines when he forced Harrell with a ground ball to shortstop, and Kittle came in ahead of Hewlett. So that walk has scored in all essence, and that did not make Mr. Piniella too happy.
Him out. Number 5 for Rasmussen. That'll bring on Cruz.
Well, here it is again.
Bonilla can't reach that ball.
No, he just can't.
Bobby Bonilla cannot reach the ball from a quarter of the plate out on either side, and that's one thing that they are going to be working on him. And we'll make that 6 strikeouts. That's high to Death Valley as Claudel Washington is right there. Well, that'll do it. White Sox are gone. 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, and they leave a man. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 5-3 New York.
The next White Sox fireworks night of the year is set for Saturday, August 2nd, when the Sox battle the Detroit Tigers at 6 p.m. Sponsored by Kool-Aid. For tickets, call 559-1212 and use your charge card, or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket office. Well, the Sox have cut into the Yankees' lead. It is now 5-3 as we go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. It's up to McCune to hold them and hope his teammates can score some more runs. Don?
All right, Ron Hasse will lead it off. 0-1 to Hasse, who this evening is fly to left, and he is lined into a double play. On deck, Dave Winfield. Fouled away. 0-2. A ball and 2 strikes. Joe McCune was not going to make a mistake with that pitch. 0-2. Little check swing bouncer foul. Popeye will make the play on that ball. Don Zimmer, the third base coach. One ball, 2 strikes. Up high, the count 2-2.
Now getting back to nicknames, then would have to be Popeye 1 and Jerry Hairston Popeye 2, right? So Zimmer had the nickname long before Jerry did.
Oh, he's had that for a long time.
Since he was a teammate of yours, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right.
And maybe before then.
He, well, you look at him, he's got forearms on him. Very big. And then he puts that chaw of tobacco in the side of his mouth.
Looks like a can of spinach. Can and all.
That's it. A full count at 3-2. There's a looper to left, and that's going to drop for a base hit just out of the reach of Hewlett. So Hassey's aboard. Oh, he throws behind Hassey right then. He's got a chance to get it, which you don't want to do. But in a situation like that with the speed of Hassey, he was thinking double.
Now, he better settle for what he's got on this little flare. I'll tell you, Hewlett almost got a glove to it. All Hassey, look at him. Walker getting on him a little bit about that one. Hassey says line drive in the paper tomorrow.
Here's Dave Winfield. He has walked and scored and bounces short 0 for 1 tonight. It's 5-3 New York. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Makes a strike, 0-1. Fourth inning, still 1-0 Houston over the Mets. 7th inning, Montreal 4-0 over Atlanta. 7th inning, Philadelphia 3-2 over Cincinnati. Inside, and the count 1-1. 3rd inning, Cardinals 3-0 over the Dodgers. 7th inning, Padres 2-1 over Pittsburgh. And this afternoon, the Giants 6-4 over the Cubs at a final. Fouled at the plate. And the count 1-2.
Well, now back in Chicago, we might have a few of the Giants watching our telecast tonight and rooting for the Mets in that ball game down in Houston. The Giants with a win over the Cubs this afternoon. There's that last pitch again. Down, came back up and hit off of the right leg of Winfield. The Giants with a 6-4 win over the Cubs this afternoon. Lead Houston by a game and a half. San Francisco now 49-40. And Houston 47-41 and playing tonight.
Two and 2 the count. Bouncer Guillen backhands, goes to Cruz, 1, and that's all. What a play by Guillen.
Outstanding play by Guillen. We talked about Zuvella's play earlier in the ball game. Now Guillen makes an outstanding play on this one. Here it is again. Winfield trying to pull the outside pitch. Does pull it deep in the hole, but Guillen gets to the ball. Feeds it to Cruz. And over the sliding Hassey back to first base, but not in time to double up Winfield.
Third baseman.
So that will bring on Pagliarulo. Baltimore leading Minnesota 2-1 in the 7th. Kansas City 1-0 over Cleveland in the 4th, and in the 7th still 1-0 Texas over Detroit. count, 1 ball and no strikes, has singled and scored in the first inning. And he has bounced a walker at first. On deck, Willie Randolph. Hit foul. 1-1 the count.
For a long time, Pagliarulo never saw any left-hand pitching, or very, very little left-hand pitching. But now Pinella's playing him against just about everybody, and we talked about Pagliarulo's totals earlier in the game. 21 home runs here at the halfway mark, or just past the halfway mark as far as the Yankees are concerned. This is their, 90th ball game. So Pagliarulo, if he keeps pace, has a chance to hit, between 35, 40 home runs, maybe even more this year.
Runner goes. And a throw through right on the money, and Winfield is out. I don't know whether a sign was missed or just what.
Well, Winfield did not get a good jump. If he's trying to steal a base, I didn't think, Don. I think a sign may have been missed.
He got a bad jump.
Very bad jump. And he is out by the proverbial country mile. All Ginn has to do is put the glove down there and wait for him.
Now there's 2 outs, and 2-1 to count to Pagliarulo. And there's a base hit right field. Second hit off of McCune. It'll bring on Randolph. Well, we've said that before. You've heard us talk about it. You get a guy that gets thrown out at second base, and invariably, just what the odds are, I don't know, but they're awfully high. The next guy walks or singles, or gets a base hit of some kind.
And there again, what I was talking about, Don, Pagliarulo getting around pretty well on the left-hander there, getting a pretty solid base hit. So he is learning to hit left-hand pitching. He's going to be a pretty good terror, I think, with that bat before his career is over.
Here's Willie Randolph. Randolph 1 for 2 tonight.
Sorry. I was going to say Earl Weaver. Living by the home run again tonight. You mentioned Baltimore over Minnesota 2-1. Solo homers by Lee Lacy and John Shelby.
1-1 to count. And I think Pagliarulo is going to be in a Yankee uniform a long time.
I have to agree with you.
One and 2 the count.
And again, going back to his play at third base, I was surprised to see that he had committed 12 errors, because he's got good hands down there at third. He can make the tough plays.
Well, a lot of times, Frank, unless you see him day in and day out, and you've watched him before, but you've watched Nettles over there, you've watched other people, and that Clete Boyer, and that's inside. And the thing that I think is misleading about that on a good infielder is they will get extra errors. They will draw extra errors because they get the balls that normal infielders don't get to.
Very true. Errors of aggression.
That's right. And that's where a lot of official scores, they get used to seeing a good infielder out there, and if he don't catch it, it's an error.
Yep.
But he doesn't realize sometimes that he's gone an extra maybe 2.5 steps to get to that ball, or 3 steps to get to that ball, where other guys wouldn't even put a glove on it. 2-2 the count. But as I say, you got to look at those guys and live with them day in and day out to see if that statement is indeed true or not. Well, the count 2-2 to Randolph. Foul back.
You can throw another one in there. I watched day in, day out for 4 years as Brooks Robinson.
Right.
And I've still got to put Brooks at the head of my list. I don't argue the point, because how are you going to argue who is better, one guy or another? But people have said, no, you got to be wrong. Boyer was better than Robinson. Nettles was better than Boyer. It's hard to say. I've just got to pick Brooks.
Bouncer to Hewlett. And they get him. So the sign is retired. Most people would take any of the 3.
Oh, you're right.
Mr. We're through 6-5-3 New York.
Chicago White Sox baseball is being brought to you in part by your All-American Nissan dealers, where you can get low 5.7% financing.
Well, a reminder that on Sunday, August 3rd, the Sox play host to the Tigers. Ace Hardware Stores present White Sox Corduroy Cap Day, and all fans, now listen, I repeat that again, all fans who attend this game will receive a free embroidered White Sox corduroy cap, compliments of Ace Hardware. And if you can make this one Sox promotion a year, well, I'll tell you what, if this is the only one you can make, do make it. Call 559-1212, use your charge card, or stop by the ballpark. And right here, the Sox with some work to do, down 5-3 after 6. Along with Frank Messer, I'm Don Drysdale. Happy you've joined us tonight. The first of 4 as we go to the 7th. And to call it for you, here's Frank.
Okay, Don, thank you very much. And Joel Skinner will try to get something started. He's been on base once tonight. Drew a walk in the 3rd, then he struck out in the 5th. Yankees 5 runs on 9 hits. 2 balls and no strikes. And that'll send Hasse out to the mound. Rasmussen has walked 3 men. He has struck out 6 so far. Make that 4 walks. I missed one. He walked Kittle in the 2nd, walked Skinner in the 3rd, walked Cangelosi in the 5th, and he walked Baines in the 6th. Of the 4 walks, 1 has come in to score. And that's Dave Righetti getting ready in the Yankee pen as the count goes 2-1 on Skinner. Fouled it back, and the count will be 2-2. Well, we'll update all the scores for you when we go to the bottom half of the inning. Another foul back by Skinner, and the count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yankees lead at 5-3. Drops the curveball in, strike 3. Skinner has struck out for the 2nd time, and Rasmussen has struck out 7 in the game. That'll bring up Cangelosi.
John Cangelosi.
Cangelosi is 1 for 2. He's flied out, doubled to drive in a run, and reached on a walk. In the air, center field, easy chance for Henderson. He gives some ground, but he's got a long way to go back. And that's a routine fly out, 2 away.
The shortstop.
And now Ozzie Guillen with 2 down and nobody on. Looking at the pitching matchups for the rest of this series tomorrow night at 6:30 Chicago time, right here on WFLD and the White Sox TV network. Bannister and Niekro. Foul. Boy, Guillen got around well, but pulled it foul. Bannister against Joe Niekro tomorrow night. Then on Saturday afternoon, it'll be Joe Cowley against Scott Nielsen. The drag bunt and fielded by Rasmussen. 2nd good fielding play tonight by Dennis Rasmussen. And that will retire the Sox in order. At the end of 6.5, the score. The Yankees 5, the Sox 3. All right, taking a look at other scores. Texas leads Detroit 1-0, 7th inning. Baltimore on home runs by Lacey, Shelby, and Ripken. 3-1 over Minnesota in the 8th. And Kansas City won Cleveland 0 in the 4th inning. Toronto at California, Boston at Seattle just underway. We'll take a look at the National League for you in a moment, but right now let's go back to action right here. Paul Zubella to lead off has sacrificed to drive in a run and double tonight. His second hit of the year and his second RBI of the year. Ball one. The Giants over the Cubs this afternoon 6-4. Cardinals lead the Dodgers 3-0 second inning. Montreal 4, Atlanta 2. Philadelphia leads Cincinnati 3-2 in the eighth. The Padres 2-1 over the Pirates. That ball game is in the seventh inning, and Houston still has the 1-0 lead over the Mets. They're in the bottom half of the fourth inning at the Astrodome. Nolan Ryan pitching that ball game, by the way, for Houston against Bobby Ojeda. That's a pretty good pitching matchup there. Count is a ball and a strike on Zubella. And McCune comes in high with a fastball. It is 2 balls and a strike. Right here, the Yankees lead 5-3. A run in the first, 2 in the second, and 2 in the fifth. Sox a run in the third, a 2-run homer in the sixth by Hewlett. 3-1 to Zubella. Now, McCune doesn't want to walk Zubella. I don't care what he's done tonight. Zubella still has only 2 hits for the year. 2 for 32. Got him off the hands and popped him up. Cruz there, and there's 1 down. Paid attendance tonight is 25,152 here at Yankee Stadium. One away to the top of the order, Rickey Henderson. Henderson has been on base twice, and yes, he has scored both times he's been on. What else is new? At the end of the season, he may lead the world in runs scored, the way the Yankees are going and the way he's going. Strike 1 called. Henderson has scored 85 runs this year. No balls and 2 strikes. I love to watch the expression on Henderson's face every time he takes a called strike. He has a look on his face to say that's illegal.
Well, he doesn't really care for called strikes.
No, he doesn't.
Called strikes to him should
be
not
banned.
happen. That's
right. They should be banned. Only when he's up, though. A ball and 2 strikes to Rickey.
He has struck out 52 times.
And make it 53. The first strikeout for McCune.
Here's a good split finger fastball right there. See Henderson starting up. The ball's going down, and he just doesn't make contact.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Batting for Washington, number 11.
We'll have a change now for the Yankees as Gary Renicky comes out to bat for Claudell Washington.
Well, it could be right here, too, with Claudell when he banged into that wall. He might have a wrist or hand or forearm or something, elbow maybe stiffening up on him a little bit, and just not going to take any chances. See pretty good numbers there on Renicky, 320 with 3 home runs, 16 RBIs.
And against the right-hand bat in there, of course. Has hit in 3 of his last 4 games, has Renicky. And takes a ball. He's had 13 hits in his last 21 at-bats. 2 balls and no strikes. I tell you, Claudell took a pretty good shot against those boards out there, against the padded boards. even though he was able to laugh about it afterwards. He may not be laughing right now. He may be suffering just a little bit. A little whiplash. Foul back. Got a little piece of the mask of Ted Hendry. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Joel McCune relieved in the 5th inning after a 2-run homer by Don Mattingly. Had putting the Yankees up then by a score of 5-1. It's now 5-3 New York. In the dirt. Tried to put a little extra on it that time. 3-2. And McCune does not like the feel of that baseball. Tosses it back in. Pinella might have wanted to use Renicky out there defensively anyway. He's an excellent fielder. 3-2 pitch. Check swing, and he's out on strikes. So 2 strikeouts in the inning as McCune retires the Yankees in order at the end of 7. It's New York 5, Chicago 3.
Chicago White Sox baseball is being brought to you in part by Ace Hardware. Remember, Ace is the place with the helpful hardware man.
Lee Jeans and Just Pants have teamed up this year to present White Sox Flight Bag Night. And it's going to be held on Friday, August 1st, when the Detroit Tigers are at Comiskey Park. The first 15,000 ladies 15 and over who attend will receive a free White Sox flight bag, compliments of Lee Jeans and Just Pants. For tickets, call 559-1212 and use your charge card, or stop by the Comiskey Park ticket office. And right now we go to the 8th inning. Yankees lead 5-3. Back to Don Drysdale.
And Harold Baines hits one off the end of the bat. A couple of hopper to Randolph. One away. And that'll bring on Ron Kittle. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Ron Kittle.
Kittle has walked, struck out, hit into a fielder's choice. He has scored a run. On deck, Timmy Hewlett. Baltimore increasing their lead 3-1 over Minnesota. That's in the 8th inning. Still 1-0 in the 8th inning. Texas, Detroit. There's a strike and a count 0-1. And indeed, all those runs coming for Baltimore on home runs. Lacey is 7th, Ripken is 6th. Shelby is 6th, and Ripken is 14th. Kirby Puckett's hit his 17th. Foul right side.
Kirby Puckett. There's a refreshing story in baseball. What a fine young man he is. Out of the Chicago area.
That's right. He's having quite a year. 17th home run of the year tonight. And it's 3-2 Baltimore over Minnesota. That's in the bottom of the 8th, and Baltimore. High pop in the infield. Randolph calling all the way. 2 out. And that'll bring on Hewlett, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Home run. That was in the 6th inning. His 7th home run of the year, a 2-run shot to give him 23 RBIs on the year. Elsewhere in the bottom of the 5th inning, Kansas City still leading Cleveland 1-0. That's Candiati and Saberhagen, and out on the coast it'll be Toronto and California, Key and Sutton, Boston at Seattle, Seaver and Langston. Renicky in left field for the Yankees as he hit for Washington, so that is the only defensive change for New York. 1 ball and no strikes. Hewlett takes a strike, 1-1. Outside, and the count goes to 2-1. to Zuvella. Stays right with it. Throws him out. 2-3 inning for Rasmussen. White Sox are gone to the bottom of the 8th inning. 5-3 New York.
Sports Vision is your home for Sox 86 Weekly, the official highlight show of the White Sox. Only on Sports Vision, Chicago's winners on cable. Call your local cable company for details.
Here's Don Mattingly. Bottom of the 8th inning, 5-3 New York. Takes a strike 0-1. If you're looking to the White Sox ninth, they have Walker, Bonilla, and Cruz as scheduled hitters. Elsewhere in the National League, it's 6-0 after 3. The Cardinals over the Dodgers. Hershiser started. Vandenberg came on. Now Powell. Tudor all the way for New York. Montreal 4-2 over Atlanta. That's in the bottom of the 8th inning. Boy, the Braves falling on tough times. Outside, the count 2-1. Rasmussen has thrown 117 pitches tonight. 75 for strikes, 42 for balls. Up the middle, Ozzie Guillen right there. Throws him out. 1 away. And that'll bring on Mike Easler. Mike Schmidt is homered for Philadelphia.
The designated hitter, Mike Easler.
As they lead Cincinnati 4-2. After 7 complete, the Padres 2-1 over Pittsburgh. Still 1-0 after 5. Houston over New York. Ojeda for the Mets. Nolan Ryan for the Astros. 1 ball and no strikes. And at the end of the 4th inning, Ryan struck out Ray Knight for the 100th strikeout of the year for his 17th consecutive year with 100 or more strikeouts.
Something else, isn't it?
That's something. 1 ball and 1 strike with 1 out to Easler. There's a line drive to right, but Harold Baines is there. Two outs to Hasse.
Ron Hasse.
Those are all the scores that we have right now for you.
All started for Nolan Ryan right here in New York with the New York Mets in 1966.
Oh, and 1 to Hasse. The right side. There's Walker. He'll go do it himself. Side retired. So the Sox in the top of the 9th come to bat trailing 5-3.
Our next game on Channel 32 on the White Sox Network will come your way tomorrow at 6:30 when it's game number 2 against the New York Yankees. We hope you'll be watching for us tomorrow night, 6:30 Chicago time, for game 2 of this 4-game series. Tomorrow night we'll have Floyd Bannister 5-5 for the Sox and Joe Niekro 7-6 for the Yankees.
As we go to the top of the 9th, 5-3 New York. Greg Walker will lead it off. He'll be followed by Bonilla and then Cruz. Dennis Rasmussen after his 11th win of the year. 2-0 the count.
Only one pitcher in the league has won more than 11, and that, of course, is Roger Clemens of Boston. Mike Boddicker of Baltimore and Oil Can Boyd of Boston each have 11 wins.
There's a strike, 2-1. Deep right and foul. And the count goes even to 2-2. That's it, foul left side, out of play. And the count remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bounce to the hole and through, base hit right field. And here comes Lou Piniella.
Well, he's got Righetti out there in the bullpen, and I think that's as far as he'll go with Rasmussen in this ball game. He'll go from one left-hander to another, but bring in his 19-save man, Dave Righetti. He has not made a motion as yet, but I don't think Piniella's out there to discuss the time of day. That's it. That's all for Rasmussen. The call goes to Righetti out of the bullpen. There's a partial line on Dennis Rasmussen. He has faced one batter here in the ninth, so he goes 8 innings plus a batter. That was the 6th hit off of him. He's allowed 3 runs, walked 3, and struck out 7. And he is out of the ball game, and making his way in from the bullpen, Dave Righetti, who went from a starter to an ace reliever very, very handily here for the Yankees. There's a break in the action here in the 9th inning. The Yankees lead 5-3. We'll be right back.
Hey, I hope you're eating potato chips, because I got to show you something. These Delta Gold brand potato chips are so fine you can even see how good they taste. Check this out. Get out one of the chips you're eating and bring it up here. Now, I'll take out one of my chips, and you put your chip next to mine. You see how golden and light-colored these Delta Gold chips are? Well, that's exactly how they taste. Delta Gold chips absolutely sparkle with flavor, and the final proof is you take one out, you pop it into your mouth, and ba-bing! You are golden.
New Delta Gold brand. You can see how good they taste.
Well, the new pitcher for the New York Yankees, Dave Righetti. Here are some figures on Righetti. This will be his 40th game in relief. 6 wins and 4 losses, an earned run average of 3.66. Righetti has 19 saves in 51 2/3 innings, 49 hits allowed, 24 walks and 41 strikeouts. Only one pitcher in the league has more saves, and that would be Don Ossie of the Baltimore Orioles, who has saved 23 games to Righetti's 19. And of course, this is a save situation for Dave Righetti. I sat right here at Yankee Stadium a few years ago, Don Drysdale, and watched Righetti pitch a no-hitter against the Boston Red Sox as a starter. The next year, he was put into the bullpen. Quite a controversial move. They argued it back and forth personally and in the media here in New York. Which was more important, a potential 20-game winner as a starter, or a guy who could go out there and save maybe 20 or 30 or more ball games, and the argument never was settled. The final decision was, though, that Righetti go to the bullpen. And, of course, there was one question came up. Who's to say that Righetti was going to win 20 ball games as a starter without Righetti to save some of those wins?
That's right.
So you never know. Managers and baseball people look at it different ways. I personally, and I could very well be wrong, but I personally think that stopper out of the bullpen may be the more important of the two.
Well, it's awfully nice to have one out there. There's no question about that.
And you disagree because you were a starter?
No. No, it's nice to have a nice balanced attack. Bobby Bonilla fouls it away, and the count is 0-1.
Righetti was put in the bullpen through absolute necessity. They had nobody, really. They really had nobody.
Right.
Gossage left as a free agent. There was nobody here.
And very quickly, the count 0-2 to Bonilla with Cruz on deck. You know, kind of one of the funny things that happened through the years, you know, they talked a lot about Dodgers starting, Frank, and I've always made a point. I said, let's stop for a minute and go back and see who they had in the bullpen. That's low and away, the count 1-2. They're going to try and work Bonilla away if they can. But going back to Brooklyn, the Brooklyn days with Labine and Roebuck and Besson starting in the middle 50s right in there. That's right, back up the middle. That's a base hit. Tried to jam him and couldn't do it. So the Sox put the tying runs aboard with nobody out, and that'll bring on Julio Cruz.
Well, Bonilla has his third base hit, and here it is again. You talk about trying to jam him. Now they had good results with Bonilla pitching him away when they struck him out in the 6th inning, and you mentioned there that Bonilla had trouble reaching that outside pitch now, but here they more or less go against their own book and come back in on his hands, and he gets his third hit.
And Jerry Hairston's going to come out, and he'll hit for Julio Cruz. But getting back to the starters as compared to the bullpen, talked about Labine and Roebuck and Besson going out to Los Angeles, and all of a sudden you had people in Chicago will remember Larry Sherry's name, 1959. What a year he had. Even Roger Craig moved into the bullpen at that time, and then came the Ron Peronowskis and the Bobby Millers and the Phil Regans and the Jim Brewers, and they always had a good bullpen, and I think you have to have.
And I think really even more so today, or starting about that era you were talking about. Now, it used to be many, many, many years ago. Who pitched in relief? A guy who was washed up as a starter.
Right. Yeah.
But that has changed so much. Relief pitching has become an art unto itself now.
Harrison asking for a little time. Joel Skinner on deck. Now you've got Walker at second. The tying run, Bobby Bonilla at first. And the breaking pitch is in and over, 0-1.
Well, Hairston had to look for a fastball up there. The first pitch from Righetti. Righetti put a little bend on it, and now it's Righetti's advantage.
Here's the case right here. He threw the curveball, got it for a strike, and Jerry still doesn't know the fastball. He threw another curveball, so he knew that velocity, hung it, got away with it. 0-2 the count as you look at Skinner on deck. Line on the right field line. A base hit into the corner. Nobody's touched it. Not yet. And they will hold Bonilla at third. Walker scores a double by Hairston. It is 5-4 New York.
Here it is again. The pitch away, and Hairston goes away with it. It's going to be fair by, about a foot down the right side. That ball is not touched by a fan. The ball in play all the way. And now the Sox have the tying run at third base, the go-ahead run at second base. And Carlton Fisk, who had been down in the bullpen area, Don, has been called in. He came in from the bullpen. With Skinner scheduled to bat, Skinner has been called back to the dugout. I'm not saying Fisk is going to hit here. I see Tollison has a helmet on down there in the dugout. But let's see who is at the bat rack. And, well, we'll just have to wait just a second here. There's Fisk. Fisk, number 72.
I think he's going to hit.
Yeah, he's looking for his helmet right now. So Jerry Hairston comes through with a very important hit. Now we focus on the other side of the field.
There's Tollison running for Hairston.
All right, that's what it is. Tollison will run for Hairston. For Jerry Hairston, you watch Fisk come out. He'll take a little while so we can talk about Hairston. That is only his fifth base hit this year as a right-hand batter. He had 29 hits batting left-handed, where he was hitting .341. He was hitting but .182 right-handed. And that is his first extra base hit as a right-hand batter, and his second run batted in as a right-hand batter. Now waiting for Fisk to be announced, and here comes Piniella out again. Well, I don't know whether he had Fisher thrown out there in the bullpen or not.
No, I think everybody's been sitting down right now. I think they're going to talk about how they want to pitch to Fisk and what they want to do. See Mark Hill congratulating Jerry Hairston.
Well, that was a very big base hit there for Hairston. There's no question about it. So the Yankees will have all the time. Well, plate umpire Ted Hendry will go out and break up the conference, but Fisk will take a lot of time getting ready to bat when he's in a ball game already, let alone when he comes in as a pinch hitter. As far as Sox pinch hitters are concerned this year, Don, they're 13th pinch hit in 75 at bats, which is not a heck of a lot out of the pinch hitters this year.
Now Carlton Fisk will come on. Now, one of the things that Piniella has to know is that, man, the man's been sick for the last week or so. So let's not throw any lollipops. He made the mistake of the curveball up to Hairston. They didn't give him the fastball.
That's all he saw then, right?
That's all he saw was the 3 breaking pitches and double down the right field line. And now Tollison carrying the go-ahead run at second base, the tying run at third in Bonilla. There's nobody out. And Cangelosi on deck with Fisk, the hitter.
And everybody on the infield in except the shortstop, Zuvella.
Inside 1-0.
Jerry Hairston is now 4 for 4, Don, excuse me, with 3 RBIs in his last 4 pinch hit appearances.
And I just about say Righetti does not have a good fastball tonight. Righetti, if you recall, just a couple of nights ago on in relief in the All-Star game in Houston. There's a strike in the count, 1-1. Well, that indeed could have taken a little bit of the edge off. Carlton got the flu bug on the 8th of July, and he has been out.
He's caught 1 inning since then.
Inside, and the count 2-1. Two balls and a strike. A bouncer out in front. They're going to come to the plate. The backhand throw. They get it. I do not know where Bonilla was going. A bad base running mistake. And the Yankees, as of this moment, have caught a break.
Well, here it is again. You'll see Carlton Fisk nub this ball just off the third base side of the mound. Bonilla gets a bad break, really, to start with. And now a backhand flip from Righetti to Hasse, and Bonilla's a dead duck at home plate. A very bad mistake right there.
Well, Frank, we've talked about it before. There's such things as contact plays and contact plays. And yes, there is a generalization on a contact play. You're at third ball. As soon as a ball hits a bat, you go. But you've got to be able to think a little bit out there. And if the ball is not hit hard, you do not have to go. First of all, they didn't have to go anywhere then anyway. You've got runners at second and third and nobody out. Now you've got runners at first and third with 1 out, and you've got a chance to have a double play and end the ball game right here. Well, we'll see what Cangelosi will do about that. Ozzie Guillen on deck. Ooh, that's a little interesting right there as Mattingly comes in a little bit. Mattingly playing in front of Fisk and a little off the bag. As Pagliarulo, he is up on the grass at third. Outfield straight away. Foul right side, and the count 0-1.
Well, you got pretty good speed over there at third. If Cangelosi, we talked about him hitting the ball in the air as a right-hand hitter earlier. And he did have a double, but he's twice fly to center field. Both his fly balls in this game would have been deep enough to get Tolleson in if the situation had occurred there. But I think right now he's facing a little tougher left-hander in Righetti than was Rasmussen for short stage anyway.
Now Righetti ready to go again. Whoop, just about jumped out. Hasse. 1 ball, 1 strike as Tolleson bluffed down the line.
Tolleson did put on a pretty good bluff there too off third.
6-6 tie in the 10th. Philly Cincinnati. Right here 5-4 Yankees in the top of the 9th. Breaking pitch for a strike, and Cangelosi, I don't believe, likes that call.
Well, he thought the pitch was high. He's barking a little bit. Let's look at it again. Cangelosi feels the pitch is high, but plate umpire Hendry sees it differently. Now, Cangelosi in this situation with 2 strikes has been vulnerable to the breaking pitch as a right-hand batter.
What John's got to do right here, he can't take anything close. He's got to make contact. 1-2 pitch. Low. 2-2. Piniella pacing over in the Yankee dugout. And Jim Fregosi. All they can do is watch in the White Sox dugout. Fly ball, but it's not deep enough. They might try it anyway.
Great arm.
The catch. Here he comes. Here's a throw. They get him, and the ball game is over.
Well, Rader tried to stop him. Rader came down the line and held his hands up, or so it appeared to me. And that is a tremendous uplift for the New York Yankees as the Sox, first 3 men up in the inning, have base hits, 2 singles and a double, and some bad base running take them right out of not only the inning, but also out of the ball game. There's Winfield's throw. I'll tell you the truth. You don't run on that man's arm down, not from that close, not from even back further than that, as he fires a perfect strike into Hasse, and Tolleson sliding in completely overmatched by the block of granite in Ron Hasse, blocking home plate for the Yankees. Final score, we'll be back. Final score, Yankees 5, Sox 4.
So the totals on tonight's game for the Yankees: 5 runs on 9 hits, no errors. The Yankees left 3, and the White Sox 4 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They left 6. Rasmussen, the winner, he is 11-3. Dotson takes a loss, 7-9, and give Dave Righetti his 20th save of the year. And the Nissan Player of the Game Award goes to Timmy Hewlett, his 7th home run of the year. The Chicago area dealers are proud to present $100 in his name to the Chi Sox kids. Well, tonight here at Yankee Stadium, kind of if this is a tip-off of what the other 3 are going to be, why there's going to be a little excitement here in the Bronx here in this 4-game series. But the White Sox coming out on the short end. They had every opportunity in the 9th inning, and they could not capitalize, and it was the arm of Dave Winfield from Little League depth right there, Frank, and that's about all you can talk about. Little League depth in Winfield, and Tolleson didn't have a chance as you look at it again.
Now here it is again. Cangelosi hits the ball in the air. Shallow right field. Now watch Winfield. He's got one of the better arms in baseball. He sort of creeps up on the ball, gets a little momentum, and watch that throw. Takes his time, sets a perfect one-hopper to Hasse, and all he has to do is take the throw, turn around, tag Tolleson out, sort of roll him back off of him, say, hey, just watch what you're doing there, young man. And that is the double play that ends the ball game. And look at Piniella out there grabbing Hasse, and Piniella seeing really, his ace reliever, Righetti, not do that well in the ball game tonight. As you mentioned, Don, no good fastball for Righetti, but the Yankees prevail on a couple of, I've got to say, bad base running maneuvers by the White Sox. And I still feel that Rader, racing down the line in front of Tolleson, was trying to stop him and send him back to third base on that final play.
Well, that very well could have been, and I was not watching Carlton Fisk on the play to see if he was going to go just to draw possibly a cutoff right there with Mattingly, but it was not to be with the arm of Dave Winfield. Like Frank said, you just don't cross that man right there. Quick draw McGraw, and with that kind of an arm, he's going to get you one way or the other. But it was Joel McCune came on, did a good job. Timmy Hewlett with a long ball tonight. Bobby Bonilla with a couple of base hits, but they just fell short.
Had a clutch base hit by Jerry Hairston there in the ninth inning, too. We got to sort of throw that one in also. Big play right there for Jerry. But final word on Righetti. Now, he didn't pitch that well. Good fielding play when he got Bonilla at the plate on the throw to Hesse.
That was it, and that was a very big play, so we'll never know exactly how big that play will be, but it did. It got him in a good situation, much better than runners at second and third, and nobody out and one run ahead. But that's the way it was tonight. The next WFLD game will be tomorrow at 6:30 when the Sox play game number 2 of the 4-game series against the Yankees. Tonight's game was produced and directed by Jim Angio. Coordinating producer was Lorene Ong. Production manager Ken Gold.